This is Friday in October. And that means that we're playing with the Dream Play Paraliminal. Today, we play with Session A. Tomorrow on Saturday, we play with Session B. Dr. Stephen LaBerge of the Stanford Sleep Research Laboratory said that the dreaming mind is something that provides an opportunity for unlimited personal growth. And because we sleep a third of our lives anyway, why not make the most of this opportunity that is available to us? If you study the ancient traditions that have examined human consciousness, we really look at three states. We have wakefulness, dream, and sleep. Now, the dreaming mind, according to new research that's come out, has a couple of different phases. One is a purging of information that you've experienced through the day, but isn't really that important to you. That's why at first, when you start noticing your dreams, they seem a little jumbled and a little bit crazy. But then what happens is that the brain goes through a consolidation of the important material that you do need to store. At that point, what happens is we start to have metaphoric representations of the deep messages that need to come through. Now, if you think about the sleeping mind as being withdrawn from the world that's manifest around you, you come to appreciate that this important part of everybody's day is a time to return to that unmanifest consciousness, that place from which all creativity emerges. The key behind the success of using dream states to assist you in your growth and development is to be very intentional as you're making the transition from wakefulness to sleep. So there is a time that we call the twilight state. That's a time when you're not quite asleep, but you're also not fully awake. You've released the day for now, and you say to your mind, I want to notice, I want to remember the dreams that I encountered tonight. Tomorrow, when we play with Session B, we'll take a look at what it means to be lucid, to have lucid awareness in our dream states. But for right now, what we want to do is essentially program our mind to use the time of dreaming to assist us in accomplishing the goals that are important to us. So state to yourself, what is it that you would like your dreaming mind to do for you tonight? Now, as I mentioned, the ancient wisdom traditions that have studied human consciousness for thousands and thousands of years talk about the universe being withdrawn from the manifest to the unmanifest at night. That's essentially what happens. And when you get the capacity to go into this unmanifest state, you can actually create, you can start or have an inception of what it is you're choosing to bring into manifestation in your life. It's very interesting that some traditions talk about sleep as being very similar to death. In essence, we're dying to the outer world and we're going into that consciousness that is timeless, it's eternal, it's who we were before we were born, it's who we are after we breathe our last breath. It's that recognition that consciousness is, always has been, and always will be. So when we go to that place consciously, to use our dream states, to go into that unmanifest state and say to ourselves, what is it that we would like to bring about in our world. We could talk about solving significant problems or issues that may have troubled us during the day. We now get to release it and let the non-conscious part of us do the work to analyze all the components of it. What's important, and consolidate that. What's unimportant, and release it. The mind is going to be doing this anyway. Have it do it on your behalf to accomplish what it is that you want. It also is training you to be exquisitely aware of non-conscious capacities of your mind. You see, everybody dreams every single night. Most research has shown that we have about 5 dream cycles in the nighttime. Those increase in duration as the evening progresses, so that very often 2, 3 in the morning, 5, 6 in the morning, we're having longer periods of dream states. Well, during these times of dreaming, the mind has the ability to practice what it is that's important to you. And oftentimes when we awaken, we have forgotten what it was that we were dreaming. So when you practice with the dream play, staying aware of that transition from dreaming mind into your conscious wakeful state, what you're doing is you're learning to walk across the boundary between the conscious and the non-conscious mind. You're learning to consciously interact with that vast non-conscious database that's 10 billion to 1 more than what we carry around at a conscious level. And so you're going to be increasing your intuition. You're actually going to be developing your ability to pay attention to subtle information that's at the periphery of your awareness. It's in a chart that I use in the photo reading program. There's a squiggly line between the conscious mind and the non-conscious mind. And that line between them, that threshold of consciousness, just above the threshold of conscious awareness, is your peripheral awareness. And we want to attend to those little side bands of awareness that come in during the day to help give us guidance to solve the problems that we face, to be able to address the key ideas that are important to us. Hopefully this is making sense. The idea that we can use our dreaming states at night to benefit, but also by learning to manage the transitions between wakefulness and dream, we're actually increasing our access, conscious access, to phenomenal amounts of information that's available to us. Enjoy the dream play session. To me, it's one of the really delightful ones because it also gives you the opportunity to stay in that more interior state rather than coming into full wakefulness. So if you can listen to it before going to sleep at night, it'll help you establish your intention and then just let it turn off by itself as you drift off into sleep. If you listen to it sometime other than that during the day, take a little rest, reboot your mind, perfect. Then you have the ability to count yourself out 1 to 5 into normal consciousness. Either way, you're going to be developing this profound resource. And since 1/3 of our life is spent in that dream state anyway, or sleep state, let's make the most of it. Enjoy. Thanks very much for being a part of this. I'll look forward to seeing you again tomorrow when we're going to play with lucid dreaming. Peace and blessings. That's all for now.